Good morning, traders. It is 7:30 exactly. Wow. On this wonderful Friday morning, the second day of March 2018. Now we've had some moves in our markets today, this morning. Some pretty large moves in our markets. If you were trading it all yesterday afternoon, you would have seen some huge, monstrous whipsaws, which are still kind of technically in a whipsaw. We had what's called a black swan event. Black swan, and these don't happen often, and when they do, they are big. Usually, it's something to do with economic unrest, politics, some type of big natural disaster. Yesterday, it was the President of the United States, Donald Trump, stating that he was implementing tariffs on steel imports and aluminum imports, and it was going to be a 25% tariff on aluminum. 25% tariff on steel, and a 10% on tariff on aluminum. The reasons are all domestic reasons, and yeah, so that's kind of a big upset in the direction of a lot of our currencies, because what that does is it creates a uncertainty, doubt, and a fear. FUD, FUD. But mostly what it created was a fear of a trade war. And trade wars are never fun. They're never good. But there are two arguments to this. There is the argument, and this is mainly to do with the U.S. and China. The argument is that there is a trade war already, and that the United States hasn't done anything to fight back, and so this is the response. So I don't know. You could argue that they complain about a trade deficit, but the thing is a trade deficit is not bad. I mean, does it sound bad? Yeah, it sounds bad in the context of saying that, I've been buying something from you, and a lot of it, and you haven't been buying as much stuff from me. So I've been buying more stuff from you than you have from me, and that's a deficit. Except the deficit nation is usually the one who benefits the most from the deficit. I know that sounds very contrarian, but the theory that having a trade deficit means that GDP weakens is really false. I mean, you could look at U.S. economy and statistics, and it doesn't matter how much our trade deficit grows, the GDP continues to move up. So, and really, tariffs are stupid anyways. I mean, they're attacks on the consumer, right? They don't, they just hurt you and me. If you live in the United States and you like to buy things at Target or Walmart, odds are a lot of those things have been produced in China. And, you may be thinking, oh, hooray, that's good, but you're probably not going to think it's cool when you have to pay for more expensive. Essentially what has happened is the governments are not getting along, and the person who gets hurt is the regular consumer. We do not have the option now to, as regular consumers, through no fault of our own, we we have the option of buying something at the cheapest amount taken away from us. And that is how that works. All right. We'll see how long this goes on. It's Trump. He just said that yesterday. It wasn't a planned conference. I'm not going to be surprised if there was some type of, reversal mentioned today before the weekend. We'd have some really crazy move up, but I am not trading today. I'm not going to suggest any trades today. We have, payroll coming out. These kind of events, I don't like to be trading in. They're just not safe. So let's look at, we can look at our trades from yesterday, but all of them they were doing great, and then we definitely got stopped out on them. But let's just look at the price action over the day. So let's take a peek at the euro here. So the euro bounced from 121.56 to 23.17, 18. So what kind of a move is that? Let's look. $167 pip move in a pretty short amount of time. All right. So that is interesting. Is it even that much? Maybe it is. Yeah. Big move. Technically, we are extended, showing a sell signal. On the UJ, oh man, this guy. But I think this is a great example of showing you, if something falls down like this, if something collapses and capitulates, and you don't know where it's going. First off, if something happens like this, and if you're asking me how does this relate to Gann's trading theory, it doesn't. This works into it just fine. In Gann's theory, we know that things return to their mean eventually, and that these kind of events are not the actual catalysts of price movement. We know that is time, and that this is just a reaction to that. So what we're looking at is, remember we drew the square. Look at these wicks here. There's a lot of buying support on this angle and within this arc. We're going to have to see if that holds, if we get a lot of buying pressure in there or not. Oh, sorry, I just got a text about some local drama. That's crazy. Okay, so UJ has taken a big dive down. Now, I'm usually kind of a counter trend buyer at this point. This is a crazy extended move. Yesterday we were trading around the 107s, and then we've traded all the way down to the 105s. Little silly move. That's a little overextended on something that is not even a certainty yet. So I am cool with this being down here, and I'm probably going to buy in at retrace to... Actually, I'm going to buy... You know what? Screw that. Structurally and in Gann stuff, this is a good buy zone. That's a great buy zone. limited risk. Our risk is down to 105.2 or something like that. So I'm cool with that. I've actually had a number of buy zones on the way down here. The question may be if you are in trades already and if you're like me and I don't trade with stops and I have trades that are kind of all over the place here, the worst thing that you can do is exit them because you're afraid. All right? I think this is a good thing to talk about. If you've got open positions and you don't trade with stops, because I don't trade with stops. I rarely trade with stops. Well, okay, I'll say this. I trade with stops, but they're like 200 and 300 pips away. That's mostly just like an insurance policy in case some currency totally gets devalued overnight. I don't want to be, end up in a holding a bag. I'll take that loss in that case. But otherwise, things generally will return quite a bit. And so I'm looking at this price actions. If you have open positions, you're wondering, okay, what do I do? My account balance is down a lot on paper. This is how much lower can it go? The thing is that there's two things you got to understand. The first one is it was a black swan event. Actually, three things you need to understand. First one is it's a black swan event. Couldn't be accounted for. Naturally, you're going to have this big reaction. The second thing is that it's a parabolic move. Short-term parabolic move. What happens with parabolic moves? They return with a vengeance. They go back and they retrace a significant portion of the move. We could see UJ return to 106.39. And the third part is that there is no excuse to exit a position because of a black swan event. Unless something has changed so fundamentally and so structurally that you need to exit, if your only cause for leaving your positions is because of your emotions, that is the exact wrong thing to do. Because I want you to look at this chart and I want you to look at the volume. As the volume has gone down, what did we have? As price has gone down, volume has increased. We found a bit of a bottom here. And then when we got into after the New York session, we had a typical, kind of fake sell-off here. And what have we had ever since then? Lowering prices and increased volume. Could we go lower? Sure. But I'm not willing to give up my hard-earned money just because everybody else is afraid. I'm going to look to add to these positions. Could that change? Sure. But in the short term, I see no reason to leave. In the short term, I'm pretty happy with these levels because I just get to get in cheaper. If you missed opportunities up here, and we know that we have a long bias based on a number of fundamentals that a number of technicals that we've gone over. We are looking at a long trade setup. We have this moon phase here as well. Take a peek at that. Even the general markets, our futures are down. The Dow, NASDAQ, and ES are down large percentage points because of this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Let's look at the Aussie dollar. Not a big mover. So we're just kind of bouncing around in our value area. New Zealand dollar was a bigger mover. Rejected at this angle. There, see that. Pound dollar, similar. Euro pound. Euro pound, we are, this is a ugly candlestick. This might be a short opportunity here. We'll see. We shall see. But there's a lot of buying support there. But that's looking. It's finding support right on this fib line. If you can see it, price is sitting right on top of this fib line in the square. In fact, we're forming a high volume node right on top of it. That should be a signal, and that the bulls are struggling to keep it up, and it's forming a pretty bearish candlestick right there. U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar does not want to quit. Continues to move quite a bit, and this is really an oil trade. That's what we've got going on there. Aussie dollar and Japanese yen. I should see a lot of these yen pairs exhibiting some weakness now and showing some signs of reversals. And that is a bearish moving chart there. Dollar Swiss, the dollar index obviously took a bit of it on the nose, but we're looking at a probable buy here. We are divergent on the hourly, and that's a probable buy area. I get it on that one. Actually, I just did. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, not much there. Euro, Aussie dollar, not much. Pound yen. Again, we may be seeing some retracements on these yen pairs. And I guess Theresa May will be talking soon about the Brexit deal. So we'll have to see what is going on with that. Euro's catching a bit of a sell here. Oh, where are we at? Look at that euro pound. Okay, now you got some weakness showing up there. We may have a lot of whipsaws. Now, the only things that have shown some really good, consistent, and nice moves is our cryptocurrencies. Very bullish buying signals on our cryptos. There's Bitcoin, Litecoin had good moves yesterday. Ethereum, about as boring as you could get. Bitcoin is a laggard. Dull and slow mover. UJ may be looking at a bit of probably catching a bit of a bid here. We have a double bottom, maybe. Kind of a triple bottom turning into a pivot area. And yeah, it's turning into a good buy signal there. Did I put... I didn't put that in there, did I? Shit. Very divergent on these. Very divergent. In fact, get a picture here. Because the idea I posted yesterday, I am all about that level on the short term. bullish setup on technicals. Very nice setup. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're great market movers, and they cause great buying opportunities when the weak hands leave. Let's check out the euro pound. Still showing some weakness there. That is good. And you know, on the hourly, back on the hourly on the UJ here, if we can move just a tick or two higher, if we can break the high of this previous hourly candle, we'll have formed a pivot, and that'll actually be a very nice bullish confirmation of a further rally to the upside. It's been in this move, we have not often had a break of a previous candle high on higher volume. That has not happened much at all. So we should look at some possible bullish indications there. Now the euro pound is one to watch for some move here. Got bought back up to that fib line. We'll see if that wants to hold or not. Got to kind of watch this on the hourly to see what happens. And then looking at, you know, UJ floating around at 105.49 here. But it's just kind of sitting there. It's not really going anywhere. But we may be inching a little bit up, maybe. We'll see. You know, we have 7 minutes left on this candle. A lot of things can happen in 7 minutes, but so far that's looking like a pretty bullish setup right there. Double checking our euro pound. Okay, falling back down. Look at the euro dollar. Yeah, we've got a pivot set up there, candlestick pivot. That's a good short opportunity. Yeah. Limited risk, just up there. Comfortable with that. UJ, I think we are technically higher than the previous close now. And the pound dollar is the one or the euro pound is the one I'm really looking at for the big move here. Five more minutes. Again, you know, our news, 7:30. Is that today though? I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't until later. Okay, let's see what kind of activity we're going to get here. There is a lot of activity in that candlestick. Sometimes you just gotta wait and look at these things as the hour closes. You get a good idea of what may happen. Looking at our dollar yen, that is still kind of floating around. The euro dollar still kind of hovering there. Euro is showing a lot of conviction. Not currently, but it has caught a lot of conviction. Now the UJ though, we're getting close to touching that 150 and higher area. We'll see if it wants to. About 3 minutes left on this. Just kind of hanging out and waiting to see what we do. UJ showing a little weakness there. Three minutes left. Who is gonna win out on this? Now the euro dollar is showing a little bit more resilience. We'll see how much conviction there is on this though. What's it look like on the 30-minute? 30 minutes got a different story. Certainly has a more bearish story. There's a lot of selling tails there. UJ kind of good opposite of that. Euro pound. Oof, that's a setup. Good Lord. 1 minute left. We'll see if we close on this fib line or not. We probably will. We'll see how much we want to stay above it. Not too much time left. 8 o'clock coming up. Let's see what we do for the next couple minutes here. So those are kind of going to be our, like I said, I'm not a big trader of these kind of days, but there are some setups this morning I'm watching that may turn out to be pretty good. So we'll want to keep our eyes on those opportunities as they happen. Euro pound showing a little bit of strength there. That is kind of a thing to look out for. But there's a nice base formed on the dollar yen and a nice kind of top here formed on the euro pound. We'll see if we get a fake out. If we can get the bears operating on the euro pound and the bulls working on the dollar yen, we should see some nice counter trend pullback here. Just kind of have to watch those, of course. Get that euro pound real quick. So it's it's up against a fib. Is that a fib line? No, it's not. Is it? No. Yeah, it's just kind of. Well, yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it's right on a fib line. We're kind of just hovering around that level, and we're just slightly above the arc. And we'll see how much buying we get at this zone. How much conviction we have to go higher at these levels. It's going to kind of be our story for the day and going into the weekend. Not a great trading day on a Friday, which is fine because I frequently talk about how the Fridays are every hour we get closer to the afternoon in the U.S. session, the less opportunities we have for trading, the less volume there is. But I mean, be on the lookout today though, because one comment from Trump about how I didn't mean it, or if anything that's kind of counter to what he said is going to rally these markets in opposite directions. So just be careful of that, and pay attention. And sometimes the best trade for the day is not to take one. All right, so you guys have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves, and we are going to be with you guys next week on Monday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.